Hi, welcome back, beautiful, beloved souls. My name is Jem, and I'm a psychic medium, and I'm an author. And just before we get into it, I am so grateful that you are here. Thank you. All right, my commentary today is Frequency Wars, the Death of Silence, and the war on your intuition. There was a time not that long ago when silence actually existed. Not quiet, as in no traffic outside your window. I mean real silence, the kind where you could hear your own thoughts echo back at you. Now, even at 3 a.m., your world is humming. Fridges, power grids, air systems, street lights, Wi-Fi signals, a constant electric whisper that never turns off. And here's the question no one is asking. What if that hum isn't harmless? What if your intuition isn't fading? What if it's being drowned out? Welcome to the Frequency Wars. Part 1. The sound of silence is extinct. Modern cities don't sleep. They vibrate. We've gone from natural soundscapes, wind, water, insects, to a permanent layer of mechanical noise. Not loud enough to notice, but never quiet enough to escape. Your nervous system used to reset in silence. Now it never gets the chance. And people are noticing something strange in 2026. Brain fog, emotional numbness, a loss of that gut feeling, that quiet inner voice just gone. We've normalized distraction, but something deeper is being lost. Your internal compass. Part 2. The sensory veil. There's a concept in neuroscience called frequency masking. I'll repeat it. Frequency masking. It's simple. When a constant background noise exists, your brain starts filtering, prioritizing, suppressing. But here's where it gets interesting. Your intuition, your gut instincts, your subtle awareness, they don't shout. They whisper. So what happens when there's a constant artificial hum sitting underneath everything? Those whispers get buried. So they get buried, not because they're gone, but because something louder is sitting on top of them, like trying to hear a heartbeat in a factory. This isn't about volume. It's about interference. Part 3. The pineal interference pattern. Let's talk about the body, specifically the pineal gland. Science already links it to sleep cycles, melatonin, and circadian rhythm. But Many traditions and even some emerging research suggests it plays a role in perception beyond the physical. Now, consider this. Low frequency vibrations, especially the kind produced by HVAC, HVAC systems, power grids, and infrastructure, can physically interact with the body, not in some mystical way, in a mechanical one. Your body is electrical. Your brain runs on frequency. So, what happens when you're sitting inside a constant field of artificial vibration? You don't notice it consciously, but your system does. And over time, it creates agitation, subtle stress, a kind of internal static. Not enough to alarm you, but enough to desensitize you. Part 4. Weaponized architecture. Now here's where the conversation gets uncomfortable. Is this accidental or engineered? Modern cities aren't just built for living anymore. They're integrated systems, smart grids, smart buildings, constant connectivity, all of it generating, sustaining, and amplifying frequency. And when you add layer of these systems together, you create something interesting. A standing wave environment, a constant field of low-level vibration that never collapses. And what does that do to a human being? It keeps you slightly on edge, not panicked, not calm, just unsettled. And a person in that state, it's easier to distract, easier to control, easier to disconnect from themselves. Now, I'm not saying this was designed as a weapon, but the effect feels like one. Part 5. The hidden sabotage. So, when people say, I've lost my intuition, I don't feel connected anymore, I can't hear myself think, maybe the problem isn't you. Maybe your signal is fine. You're just surrounded by interference, like trying to tune into a radio station while someone blasts static across every frequency. You don't fix the radio. You clear the noise. Part 6. Shattering the synthetic frequency. So, how do you fight something you can't see? You start by listening, not to the noise, but to the absence of it. Pay attention to environments where you feel different. Near water, in nature, during power outages, late at night when the grid softens. That's your baseline. Then audit your space. Turn things off, one by one. Notice what changes. Even small things matter. Constant fans, electrical hums, background TV noise, devices that never sleep. You don't need to eliminate everything. Just create pockets of silence, because silence is not empty. It's where your signal lives. In closing, reclaiming your internal compass. This isn't about fear. It's about awareness. Your intuition hasn't disappeared. It's waiting underneath the noise. And the moment you give it space, it comes back. Clear, immediate, unmistakable. So maybe the real rebellion in 2026 isn't louder voices, it's quieter spaces. Because in a world that never stops humming, silence is power. Thank you, beautiful, beloved souls. Drop a comment below. I ask that you do so respectfully. How are you feeling? Are you suffering? Lack of sleep? Constant brain fog? Do you feel like you can't trust your gut? Maybe your environment is noisy and there's just little things we can do to reclaim our power and sovereignty. All right, please be kind to each other. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you back in a couple of days. Love, light, and blessings. Bye.